This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on! Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode 113. Paul Rank, Wade Hampton, and myself, DocNoyes. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the start of the season yesterday. I know some games tonight, and both Paul, we're recording this actually on Wednesday because both Paul and Wade will be at their respective teams. I'll be watching the Blues from home, and that's okay because I'm saving up money for the Expo next week anyway. So it all
you'll be there. You'll be there in my heart, Doc.
Yes, and you'll be texting me from the game. So it all works. First of all, wanted to thank Dan and Matt again for coming on last week. That was a very fun conversation. We had a ball, and again, just an all around good time with them. So the likes, the subscribes, and comments keep shooting up every week across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please keep that up. It is really awesome to see that continue to grow every week. Doesn't have to grow huge, but just the fact that it keeps going up means a lot. The drink for this evening is a little Basil Hayden for my old fashioned. Always just a solid go-to. I like their rye better, but the regular is pretty good too. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Next weekend we'll be cheersing with Dr. Pepper. Wade and I will be. So, and Paul will be doing that in spirit with us.
Yes.
Speaking of the drinking, no matter where you are, Mitch can help you out with the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing. It was actually 48 degrees when I left the house this morning. So the sweatshirts are definitely just about due. So reach out to Mitch if you need that, or if you want a better way to open your bottles and cans, he can help you with that too. Next week, we do have the St. Louis Expo. I know we're looking forward to seeing all our friends and guys traveling from all over. So, Wade, I know you're putting all the final touches and getting things sorted out with that. So that's going to be a blast.
Everything's coming together nicely. Going to be a fun room full of good people, and we're going to have a blast. And I look forward to reporting back on it next week.
Yes, and I'm going to tell on myself because I was an idiot. Paul doesn't even know this story. Wade does. So, I mean, I usually keep my calendar pretty planned ahead and things like that. And occasionally I'll miss stuff and, I'll get to it. Well, Wade put the reminder post out last week or week before about the expo. And in that reminder posted the fact that the hotel was sold out. I neglected to make reservations at that hotel. I usually do it right when the dates get posted and just let it slip through my fingers. So I actually have to stay down the street from the hotel where we're doing the expo. So I'm telling on myself to tell all of you for wherever expo you're going to, as soon as you get the hotel details, book it.
Yeah.
So next week I'm doing, or actually tomorrow probably, I'm booking the Vegas hotel so I can have all of that done.
I was just going to recommend that.
Yes.
Please book Vegas now. Yes.
Everybody every year does the same thing. And then I call frantically to my hotel contact to try to get more rooms. And she's like, it gets tough, and I'm sorry for that, but it gets.
No, it's my fault. I just dragged my feet too long. I did check, just curious, just to go on their site and ran those dates. There is nothing. So I'm guessing, like always, there is a softball tournament or something where we get all those high school kids. Yeah.
I know in St. Louis that weekend, I mean, obviously the Blues play. I think there's like an AEW wrestling event in St. Louis at the other arena. So, I know there's a bunch of stuff going on, and then where our hotel is, there is copious amounts of youth sports and college teams come in too. So it gets pretty full. So every year I tell everybody, book early for the hotel room because otherwise you're going to end up dancing.
And just to be clear on the dates, October 12th is the Minnesota Expo up in Minneapolis. Your expo is the following weekend, October 18th and 19th.
Correct.
Yes, I just want to make sure as people are
this weekend is the other expo coming up.
I want to make sure as people are listening, especially if they listen later on in the week, they know what dates we're talking about. So get out to St. Louis, everyone.
Yeah, the 18th and 19th for sure. So unless I miss the date somehow, which could happen too.
And I will give you a side piece of trivia that I learned today, and I laughed a long time about. It is a sad story, but still funny connection. And it is nothing against where the expo is, but I was listening to one of the podcasts that I follow closely called Crime in Sports. If you have not checked it out, it's two comedians doing different athletes, and it's very little actual sports talk. The rest is all the stupid crime and crap that they've gone through. The one I'm listening to right now is Kevin Stevens. I was completely unaware that he was arrested for having drugs and being with a hooker in Collinsville in the 90s. So
the hotel is now gone. It
yes, it is.
Lovely Holodome. I actually spent time there as a child playing miniature golf and swimming in the pool. And in high school, we would get hotel rooms there and drink beer. So I could have even probably been there the weekend that Kevin got busted. They might have been looking for me and my friends.
Hopefully not.
Not trying to call myself out for anything, but yeah, that is a true story.
I heard that today, just cracked up over it. But like I said, there is actually a lot. If you go into and all these, this is a free podcast, Crime and Sports, two comedians that do a fantastic job with it. But they've done a lot of hockey players. They've done Rudy Poshek.
Yeah.
They've also done Mike Danton. So there's a lot of all the St. Louis stuff in that podcast. Yeah. And they are it's very funny to listen to. So I mean, I think Brett Holes mentioned and stuff. You get a lot of different things in there. So get a chance, check them out.
Very proud of my hometown.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a shame that hotel is gone, because that would have been great for like an expo tour.
Oh, right. Put a special plaque up.
Yes. I mean, I could tell you guys some great stories about that hotel. Some of them I wouldn't even want to talk about on the air, but like there was like a little like, I mean, it was one of those like original holodomes from like the 50s and 60s, you know,
nice. Yep.
Big atrium and everything. And they would there was a restaurant and a bar which turned into like a nightclub when I was in high school and college, where you could it was like I said, I could go into some stories that it would be a different type of podcast.
We'll have to tell some of those next weekend when we're all hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of expos, I got a fantastic message this evening from Robert. He is him and his family. He's a 13-year-old son and his wife, new collecting family. Met you out at the Migrate Expo. You turned him on to the podcast. He started listening and digesting that, and was so excited to meet you, and really started listening to us to learn about the hobby. He's just bought a helmet from the Vegas Golden Knights. He's picked up a few other pieces, but he's trying to learn and asked about some of our older podcasts to teach that. So I'm sending him links and just trying to help him into the hobby. So thank you, Robert, for reaching out, and glad that you got to meet Wade and talk about that and learn about the podcast, because it's funny how that spreads around different ways.
I was just as excited to meet Robert, and it's always a pleasure to get out and we all talk about the funny times when we meet people, or how people are excited about the show, and introducing them to the show and the hobby is that's what this is all about, man. So thank you, Robert, and your family, and enjoy the hobby, and thanks for the kind words. It means a lot to me and to the show.
Auction wise, the only thing
before you go on, that does remind me, another thing in my queue is I'm working on an episode guide.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So we can easily, when someone brings up something and asks about something, we can easily find it, because I know it's going to take a while for us to dig through the archives and find anything. So it's another thing in my queue. I'm slowly trying to get things done on it. But
I mean, we're at 113 shows right now. That's crazy to think back. I mean, I spent some of the weekend, and it does take a little bit of time, and going slow is updating it on IMDb, since I do have that set up, and just going back for the newest show, and it takes time to it doesn't sound like much, but to add every show. So I'm slowly trying to do that, and it's cool just to see it on IMDb. But moving on from that, auctions. I'm sorry, what's that, Wade?
Just to think where we started with this.
Right.
Really cool. So very neat. Thanks again, Robert and Doc. You're the man.
And for everybody that supports this, it means a ton. and everybody that would just reach out, hey, I love listening to the show in the car, doing whatever. It does. It means a ton. And you guys probably get annoyed hearing that. I don't care. The only auction is NHL Auctions does have a bunch of Rangers gear, gloves, skates, other things, but boy, they're pricey. They were on the pricey side of things. So if you are a Rangers fan looking for some of that stuff of newer players, it is out there. Wade has, and somebody, speaking of going back to the podcast in general, several people, when you posted this, wanted us to immediately do a breaking news Dirty Laundry podcast on it. But I'll let you fill in all the good news now.
On Paul, what did you refer to it as? Wadegate?
Wadegate, yes.
Which is great. So obviously we had a conversation about the Radek Fosca Winter Classic style Blues jersey that went missing in August. And I was never really, I wanted it to pop up. I never really thought it would. The long and the short of it is, I was alerted, God, what day was that? On Saturday of it being on eBay. One of our fellow collectors reached out to me and they said, hey, your jersey's on eBay. And I said, where? And they sent me a link. The seller was someone that is in the hobby and known, and he was very gracious I contacted him, explained to him the situation, showed him the evidence where it was, explained the police report and stuff. And just to clarify, it's Anthony Rossi, and he did not get it himself. He had bought it from another eBay auction, which he showed me a link to. Didn't pay a terrible fee for it. It was kind of one of those, the place he got it from was one of those eBay stores that does clothes resell it's almost. And I don't think they knew what they had, but obviously he knew what he was buying. And he was gracious and offered just to send it to me gratis, I did not allow that to happen. I did compensate him both for what he paid for the jersey and then a little extra plus the shipping and all that, just because I wanted him to be made whole as much as I wanted to be made whole. So the jersey, actually, I checked before the show came on. It should be here tomorrow. I was really hoping to get to hang it on my little display that we do every week behind us. But next week it'll be up there, hopefully, if everything goes well. And I wanted to thank him publicly, man. I mean, he was wonderful in it. And to follow up with that, I think one of my favorite things about it is I think we all have a hobby history, and I think we all have, whatever. And to me, we are always growing and learning. And I think this was a really great experience for me with him. And I've done business with him in the past, and I can't say enough how much I appreciated his kindness and generosity and understanding of the situation. To kind of go back on it, I know there's a lot of questions. I obviously had filed the police report in regards to the jersey and with the postal police. I have reached out in regards to letting them know that the jersey is nearly back in my possession. The other seller that he got it from, I reached out to and said, hey, this was, blah, 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 and tried to get them to tell me where they got it. And I hit a huge roadblock, and they were like, talk to eBay, don't contact us again, kind of weird. And from the looks of what they sell, they had a lot of clothing with tags and stuff. So I almost wonder if somehow the jersey did get out of the box in the postal system and then got put into one of those bundles of clothing that then get sold through the postal system, when they do their auctions or however they do that, because the jersey was shipped from California to me in the Illinois, St. Louis area, never got here, but then was sold out of Florida. So how it got to Florida from California, not to Illinois, I don't know. I am just grateful that it came back. And again, it speaks of the positive part of our hobby and friendships, because I was alerted of it right away. And man, I can tell you that it's not the most expensive jersey in my collection. It's not the best jersey in my collection, but it is going to be one that's going to have a lot of meaning to me, even beyond the fact that I wanted it for my collection, because it has a great story because of the game it was worn in and some of the stuff. But I just again, can't thank Anthony enough for being how he was in the situation. I can't thank the hobby enough. Like obviously, I made a post in the main group, Facebook group for our hobby, and got so many great responses and so many people just personal messaging me, being happy that I got the jersey back. So I'm humbly thankful to all of you guys, and that's really all I have on it. Don't want to beat a dead horse.
And yeah, it was crazy with all this scrambled around, but at the end of the day, it's almost back to you, and we'll hang on a good spot. I should bring at the expo. I should bring my helmet down. We can do a picture together because I own the helmet that he had on when he was wearing that jersey, so we can combine forces and get a good picture. But I am at the end of the day because I know how much you were stressed over that. It's just a random Blues jersey.
Yeah,
I can see it, but yeah, this tied to the 12-round shootout, him winning it, all these things. It's just such a cool piece.
yeah. The funny part about it was, like I said, it's funny because like I really wanted the jersey for my collection, right? So that was one of it. And I guess I've been so disappointed that it happened. Like it just sucked that it happened. And then on the other end of that, like I guess I've been waiting for it to I kind of expected it not to pop up this quickly. I guess my thought process was it was going to show up on like Facebook Marketplace or on eBay in 2 years, or in 2 years or 3 years, it was going to pop up with somebody's like, oh, look what I got for my collection kind of thing. And then it was going to be even worse. But like best case scenario kind of happened. So I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty great outcome for me. And I will say that the original seller to me, we had agreed to split the cost of the jersey being lost from what I had paid for him to it. So he has been made whole as well. So everybody in the whole thing, like, kind of, besides Anthony not getting as much as he wanted for the jersey, I think everybody turned out okay. And again, don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm really thankful. So thanks to everybody.
Yes. Paul, you want to talk about Penn State?
Oh yes. Oh, totally changing topic.
We got a long list tonight.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, no, I was just first, no, great for Wade for getting that jersey back. I mean, I did. You actually had me thinking about a few things on it because we had a case like this about 10 years ago, which didn't get all. It was a number of jerseys, didn't get them all back, and we know that they ended up in one of those USPS sales where they put them, in a lot or something, and someone buys a lot. And I think most of those are in Georgia or somewhere not too far from Florida. But the other thing, before we start talking about Penn State, so Justin keeps listening a little bit longer, you bring up an interesting point that you guys had agreed to split cost of the jersey there. I think it's something we need to discuss on a hobby on how you handle that when you're selling, not as a dealer, not as a big company, as you're selling collector to collector. Who's responsible if something doesn't get there?
Yeah.
I know on big shipments, I insure them. For on pirate ship, if you're shipping a $2,000 jersey, additional insurance through pirate ship is $20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's 1%, it's worthwhile doing. But I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts are of whose responsibility is that to make sure the jersey gets from A to B and bears the brunt of the cost.
A lot of people told me that I shouldn't have split it, that like, oh, it's on the seller. And I can't disagree with that. But this was a person who I consider a friend who I've done business with in the past. And I think what we tried to do was just minimize the damage to each of us, if that makes any sense. I mean, so I think that was a gentleman's agreement. And to me, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way to do it, but I also think that you should always be cognizant of trying to do the right thing by everybody, right? I think in some cases you'd be like, well, you didn't ship it right, or it didn't get packaged right, or oh, it didn't make it here, I want my money back. But then that person's like totally out, right? So in this case, I just felt like, and we agreed that the fairest thing to do would be just to kind of cut it down the middle and call it fair, right? And then I obviously had agreed that if it popped up on my end, I would pay pay the difference. I think that was the fairest way to do it, in my opinion. And that would be, if I were the seller, I would love for someone to treat it the same way, because I looked at it from that perspective of, if it were the other way around, I wouldn't want to have to eat the whole thing. And hopefully my hobby reputation and that person's hobby reputation would be good enough to meet in the middle, right?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
so go ahead, Wade or Paul.
I was going to say, I mean, and that worked out good because it was two friends doing the transaction there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it gets a little bit more dicey and fuzzy, whatever you want to call it, when you're dealing with someone you really don't know well, you know, just maybe from a few interactions on the forums or Facebook. But, you know, I love the way you guys handled this. I mean, I thought that's more than fair, the approach you came up with. And now it has, you know, a great ending in the fact that the jersey's coming back home tomorrow when we would normally be recording.
Yeah.
Yes. But Doc, you wanted to say something on this.
Yeah, and I, as you guys were talking, was thinking about it, and even as we've covered this before, is maybe up front is have, and we always preach it, good communication is, hey, here's how I normally ship it. If it's a $200 jersey, I throw it in a box or Tyvek bag or however I do it via, if it's postal service, but I don't say you're doing this transaction, I don't normally insure it, whatever. If you'd like insurance, it's X, and then we'll get it covered off that. Otherwise, and again, you're just closing this all up front. If it gets lost, I'm not responsible. I mean, you could do it that way, but just communicate all of those things up front. And I know it gets,
that's the
a lot
hard
of people
part.
don't want to wash their hands of it, and I get that.
I think that's the hardest part of it, and that's the funniest part about it. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, God, it sounds stupid, but like, I ship and receive so many packages within a calendar year. I guess we all become, and in this case, I actually felt it afterwards. Like, I think we all become a little complacent with how we think about that stuff. I think we just expect that, like, man, I've shipped so many of these things, like, it's going to get here, like, it's not going to be a big deal. But there's that if comma, it's not going to get there, right? I can tell you that since that transaction, any package I've had shipped, I've definitely felt more nervous about it arriving, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because you've already waited and it disappeared.
Yeah, like, I mean, now I guess I'm more nervous about it. The good part is I have 2 address points that I can use. So like, I've been using my other one that, like, I know somebody is at to, like, receive packages, so that I don't have to, like, all worry that they're sitting out anymore, which works out really well for me. But yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing is protect the investment that you're making in it. So, like, use what Paul is saying, because it seems like that's really affordable. Or if you are selling something expensive, like, don't cheap out on the shipping, right? Like, I guess that's a lesson that I learned, and probably a lesson that should be taught from this. Like, man, if you're selling something expensive and it's going to cost an extra $40 to pay for the insurance, it really could be worth it.
Don't cheap out on the shipping nor the packaging. You know, make sure it's packaged securely, taped up well, so you know it won't come out of the package as shipping. I know a lot of the auction houses ship with GameWarn.net used to use UPS a lot because it was insured for, you know, the value they declared on it. You know, and it was more expensive the more pricey the jerseys were. But, you know, they weren't going to take the chance of, you know, shipping a $2,000 jersey for $10 USPS priority without any insurance. Because if it doesn't show up, you know, who's out in that case?
Right.
Yeah.
Auction house, the consigner, you know, it's I know they don't take credit cards, so you don't have that route to challenge it.
We've tried. And you said something really important there too. You said something about the tape. Like, man, if you came over to my house right now and I literally could get up and probably grab 4 or 5 of them, I have around here 4 or 5 rolls of packing tape, right? And I'm going to say this on the show: a roll of packing tape costs $4 or $5 for, like, a good roll of it that you put on the little thing. Use the shit out of that when you're sending something. Like, at the end of the day, put more tape on it than you think to to secure the edges, to make sure it's good. Put stuff in, I buy the 2-gallon Ziploc bags. They sell them in a pack of 10. They're $4. I mean, like, I buy all this stuff all the time. Like, if you come to the expo, you'll see that at my table, there's a box full of that stuff, right? And it does it like, put the extra tape around the edges of the box, put it in a bag. Like, don't cheap out if you're selling expensive stuff. Like, make sure you're doing a good job. And this isn't for the case that just happened with me. This is just an in general hobby comment, right? Like, if you're going to be involved in our hobby and you are going to buy and sell jerseys that are hundreds to thousands of dollars, don't be a cheap ass and not afford tape and bags and boxes, right? Don't use old shitty boxes. Don't use, don't not put it in a bag. Don't not tape the box well. Period.
Reminder on that, USPS boxes are free.
Yeah.
You can order from their website. They will deliver them to you for free.
Yeah.
They have a whole array of sizes there, including the flat rate ones. And to add on to what Wade said, I use a lot of tape on my packages too. And what I do is I wrap all the way around the box, like in a couple places, because sometimes those USPS flat rate boxes with one jersey inside without any other padding, there's a little bit of air in there. They can get broken into and knocked open. But if you have it taped, nothing's going to fall out. You don't have to go crazy and tape the whole thing, but a little bit of reinforcement, which takes an extra 30 seconds.
And throw it in some kind of bag inside there. But I actually got a picture from somebody the other day, and I apologize who it was, and I can't pull their name right now. But it was a USPS box in the middle. Something had hit it and actually broke through the paper. But had it like sat on a front porch in the rain, the jersey inside could have gotten wet. So, and I will say, and I know people complain about using bags to ship and that. I do, in certain cases, do that. Actually messaging while we're recording with our friend Rory in New Zealand. He had purchased a couple things over here that they won't ship directly to him, worked it out with him, and used multiple heavy-duty Tyvek bags because it's so damn expensive to send to New Zealand, but they're triple bagged and protected well. And it was still $80, almost $90 to ship it.
And the bags aren't a bad thing as long as you don't just use one of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with getting a bag as long as it's like multiple ones or there's, whatever. But like, again, like what Paul said, like, here, you're going to go to the post office or to a shipping place and ship something. You can literally grab those right there. There's a kiosk. I do it every time I go there. I probably have 20 of them sitting in my jersey room in the closet. Like, if I go there to ship out a package, I grab a handful of them, take them with me so that I always have them. That way I'm never having to recycle boxes. I'm never having to worry about that. I'm always making sure that I am treating the item that I'm sending out from my house the same way that I expect it to show up to my house when I purchase it.
The only thing to clarify on that is do not use those USPS boxes for UPS or FedEx.
But yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
And use them for the right class of service. If you have a flat rate box, it has to be flat rate.
And the funny part is, and here, I'll throw this out to you too, as far as the jersey boxes that we typically use, there are two sizes of them. The little bit smaller one is set up for international shipping, and you can ship that one for much cheaper. So, like, do a little bit of research and homework. Or here, if you have a question about that stuff, there are 3 guys on this show. I get messages from people all the time. Doc does, Paul does. None of us are ever not going to respond to a message that's hobby related. Like, hit us up or hit up somebody else that you know that is hobby experienced who is willing to help, because there are so many people that are happy to help you along this journey, right? No matter what your place is in it, no matter how long you've been doing it, we're all learning. Just like be a good steward to the stuff that you're both sending and receiving.
Yes. This message brought to you by Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast. You can tell we're just having fun tonight with the beginning of the season, and Paul and I are keeping track of fantasy hockey games and stuff. It's just fun all the way around. So now, because Justin may have fallen asleep talking about packaging stuff, now we can talk about Penn State.
And I do have to comment, we went through this whole agenda before, and we have a bunch of stuff on it. this stuff never came up before. So
No.
it's who knows what else we will talk about
We are
today.
a very fluid podcast with the things we talk about and jumping around. So we love tangents.
Yes. So one of my very good friends, Terry, who is a fan of the show, loyal listener, hopefully sure he's still awake when he hears this, maybe not after that last segment. But Monica and I flew out to Arizona this past weekend to meet up with Terry and go to the first two Penn State, Arizona State games for Gavin McKenna's first two games at Penn State in NCAA. And we've been traveling a lot between Germany, heading to USC this weekend, Red Wings trips, and it's exhausting, but man, it was so much fun. And we went to we land Friday afternoon and head right to Mullet Arena just in time for the game and get there. And I've never been there, so it's another arena that Monica and I can cross off our list. And it was the crowd, it was good, but weird. I'll comment on the crowd first. It was not a college hockey crowd. Even though there's a student section at the far end, there's no chanting, there's no organized cheers. It's just general cheering. And I think my criticism of ASU here is before the game, right before warm-up start, they have a DJ playing it's incredibly loud. It's still good and entertaining, but it totally prevents the crowd from getting into it. And the student section's just totally silent during this time in warm-ups. But I would compare it to and it really was at one point, a small NHL crowd, from when the Coyotes played there. And the crowd does get loud, the people do cheer, but it's just not a college type atmosphere at all. As for the games, Friday, McKenna's first game, I thought, it was okay. He didn't really stand out to me, and it might have been where our seats were or something. People who watch an NHL Network might disagree with me, but and Soretto, was it that the game? Yeah, I think that's the game. He looked really good. Forget his first name. Kid who was supposed to go to Michigan ended up at Penn State. But then the second game, you could really see the skill that McKenna had. He's going to live up to his billing, I think. I mean, he may or may not win the Hobie Baker this year. There's a lot of other good young players in the league, but I mean, he's clearly going to be the top pick unless something happens, injury or something crazy. But he looked really good, and it was great to see him. I play those first two games. I can also add to the atmosphere. It was kind of interesting going on Saturday because the game was right after UCLA football beat supposedly really good Penn State football. So the Penn State fans were not happy about that. And there were a number of them who made the trip out there. Let's see. Other thing which has changed in college hockey since I was a student at Michigan, they can also sell beer and liquor. Beer and I think wine at the games. So it's still, pricey and stuff, cheaper than California prices, but still up there. For game 2, I wanted to go down to the student section and take photos and warm-ups. And it was like, yeah, go right ahead. But no beers. You weren't allowed to bring beer into the student section. So that's
really
the only constraint.
I mean, that's legit. I give them that.
Yeah, I mean, it's most of the students are probably not 21. It's there. So
the arena's not on campus, right?
It's right next to the football stadium in Tempe. I don't even know where the campus is.
It's in Tempe.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's
so it should be right there. I didn't know if that might be an excuse why there's not more of a college atmosphere, but
no, there were a lot of students there.
Oh, good.
I mean, the student section, they had one of the end zones, and it was packed, and it was a good crowd. It's just it hasn't. Go to a game at Cornell. Go to a game at Michigan. God forbid, go to a game at Penn State or North Dakota. Justin,
but they haven't they probably haven't established a lot of traditions in a program that's transitioned into. I'm sure they'll get there. I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's a great.
Okay.
It's a great city for college football and what have you. So I could see them developing into it. hopefully.
Yeah. So, and long story short, well, probably not anymore. Back when I was at Michigan, that was when Red Berenson was taking over the program, and former St. Louis Blues great, and they were terrible. Michigan was a very poor team in the mid, well, 83, 84, around then when Red came in, and slowly he built up the program. And Yost was for a lot of games fairly empty, and when it was full, it was mostly for the big games like Michigan State. And that was like 50-50 with Michigan State. So Michigan gets better every year. And I'll leave out the Rob Blake story. A few people know that one. But we finally make the NCAA tournament. And back in those days, the first rounds were played on campus sites. So we had best of 3 series against Cornell. And Cornell came in with probably 500-600 fans. And they put us to shame. They were so incredibly loud. They were all organized, all these cheers and chants. After a penalty, and Michigan full strength, and you'd hear just the crowd over there yell, and they still suck. And they were nice and organized and stuff, and super, super loud. So that was game 1, and Michigan lost that in overtime. Game 2 comes in, the place is packed, and the Michigan fans are loud too. We're starting to steal some of their cheers and stuff and chants. Michigan ends up winning that series and then loses the next week at Boston University, who was a very good team that year. But since that day and that series, Yost has been just crazy loud. A lot of good chants, a lot of bad chants. Beginning of the seasons, a lot of times, Red had to go up there and address the students, saying we're not going to allow certain chants and mostly just profanities.
Sure.
And it took a while to get them out. They don't need to do that anymore. But I think Arizona State will eventually get there, and maybe it will take Cornell coming out there and to do it, help them out or something. But that's like the only college on campus or close to campus rink I've been to where it's not been a true college atmosphere. So go ahead, Doc.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I see Wade has left us, but we wanted to lead that into the next topic, which was what's going to happen with Gavin McKenna's jerseys.
You've already bought them all.
I have not. My understanding is, good timing, Wade. We're just leading into you. Oh, good. We couldn't hear you. So, Topps has an exclusive agreement with Gavin McKenna for autographs. I'm not exactly sure what. Wade, you have a better understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah, he signed an exclusive with Topps, from my understanding, for his autograph. So he will be an exclusive in Topps product, which is my guess is they're probably trying to get back into the hockey realm because they've been out of it for a really, really long time. So yeah, they signed an exclusive with him. So he is, like a Topps exclusive, if that makes any sense. So like you wouldn't see his autograph or memorabilia in like an Upper Deck product or anybody else's product.
And this is multi-year, right?
Yeah. And this happens all the time. Like, Wayne Gretzky still has a UDA contract and, different guys. And before the show, I had mentioned that, like, his rookie year, Jack Eichel had signed an exclusive with Leaf trading cards. So he couldn't, sign any of the products for Upper Deck, which was, kind of a big deal back then. So the jersey thing is interesting in this, that what you were mentioning. It sounds like Topps released a thing that basically said that they're going to be doing, cutting up his first game jersey to be put into their products. So
it's a little bit interesting because is this the first active college player that this is being done with?
With hockey, I believe so. I mean, I don't know about football. No, I mean, all these guys have NILs now and are, a lot of these guys have been signing with, different trading card companies for years now, which was a newfound thing from the NIL because previous to that, they couldn't sign anything until their amateur status was up with the trading card companies. So as far, I mean, he's the first big name hockey college kid that I've heard of, right? Who's signed a big NIL. Now, other kids have NIL deals, but they don't have like an exclusive deal with a major brand like this that I know of, right? I mean, obviously, everybody knows Livy Dunn had a bunch of contracts and stuff she was doing when she was at, Louisiana State. Shout out Livy. Um, so, like, the jersey thing is weird. I mean, that's different.
I'm curious if Penn State's getting a kickback because technically they own the jersey unless
Yeah.
it's a player contract thing or something.
I mean, unless he bought the jersey, which I mean, players do have the option to do that stuff with the NILs. I mean, who knows what his agreement with them? I know he signed a big NIL with Penn State, so who knows what his deal was with as far as his equipment and memorabilia wise. A lot of these kids now that you can go to the school website and get jerseys and T-shirts made with whatever their thing is, like their name, their number, and the kids get a kickback on that now. So it's interesting. I mean, the question is, did he wear one jersey that game? Like in the NHL, a lot of times the players will wear a tag jersey for the trading card companies that says Upper Deck on it. We've seen them, and I know a couple of them have gotten out in the past. And they'll wear that in one in a warm up or in a period, and then it goes to get cut up. So it's not like their regular set jerseys for the modern stuff. So the question is, did he wear more than one jersey that first night? Or did they just we wore it the whole game and then they took it and are cutting it up? So,
or did he wear it just for warm-ups, the one that they're cutting up in?
Yeah, I mean, how many jerseys did he wear that night? I mean, obviously people are getting more hobby savvy. Obviously, Penn State hockey is pretty hobby savvy because I know they do sell. It would be nice to have Justin on because he knows a lot about Penn State hockey as far as their jerseys. But, I guess the question is, how hobby savvy were they that night to either keep him in one jersey or, I mean, they had to be prepared for it because they played like you said, they played 2 games. So he had to wear a different jersey the next night. So they had to know something was coming. So how many does he have?
Yeah, I mean, typically, I can only speak for Michigan. And back when they were selling jerseys, most of the players only had one jersey.
Yeah.
There's, unless there was like the Big Chill outdoor game where they had one jersey per period, and they were very clear on when they sold those.
Yeah.
But most colleges, as far as I know, players get one jersey each, unless it gets totally mutilated. Then everyone. But McKenna's a different beast. I mean, this is. I mean, it's changing college hockey in the sense that we're getting CHL players can now play in the CHL and now come to the NCAAs.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're getting kids like I forgot the player's name, but you can look it up. Doc might be able to find it. There was a kid who played in the ECHL last year who's back in college playing.
Yeah, I heard there's 3 ex-pro players in college, which is
the one guy played in the AHL and the ECHL last year, but I guess they made a determination that he didn't make enough money to that he couldn't come back to go to college, right? Based upon how much money they can make on the NIL. So, I mean, it becomes a really interesting topic of, where that line is going to stop. I mean, a kid like McKenna is making, a bunch of money across the board, right? So, it's pretty interesting.
NIL keeps them from needing to sign an entry-level contract.
Correct. Because in that kid's case, he's making enough money that his entry-level contract probably won't end up matching what he's making playing college hockey for Penn State.
It would shock me if it would. I mean, he ultimately is going to get the huge payday, and he has to get past the entry-level contract.
Yeah.
But it's the amount of money being thrown at these kids for but especially in football. And Michigan's very guilty of that with Bryce Underwood. It's
football and basketball are the 2 sports that drive, all college sports. I mean, they call them the money maker sports. Those are the ones that the schools make money on. Beyond that, it's kind of a wash. I mean, obviously the hockey for the prime time teams, they're making money on that. But it's just a totally different scenario than it used to be, right? So it'll be interesting to see where that all goes, right? I mean, now with him at Penn State, does Penn State start selling more jerseys because they know they can sell them, or just his jerseys? I mean, it'll be an interesting watch.
My suspicion on that is, yes, they do sell more replicas or authentics
Sure.
of McKenna. As for game worn jerseys, I think that's a small part of what the athletic departments think of. And I know Penn State has made jerseys available on regular basis. Once again, Justin, we could have used you tonight, because he understands how that was done. But I'm sure they're going to be pumping out McKenna T-shirts, jerseys, whatever they can do to market them.
Absolutely.
And to answer your question, yes, I was fast on my fingers, and it is actually 3 players, 2 of which went to Jimmy State. I think that's how you pronounce that. If I screwed it up,
Bemidji State. Yeah. It's Bemidji State.
Thank you, Hudson Thornton, who last year played 1 game in the AHL for the Hershey Bears, 7 games for the Stingrays, and Blues affiliate Orlando Solar Bears played 42. Connor McGlennon also went to the same. He played a couple games for the Chicago Wolves, a couple games for the Norfolk Admirals, and then also the big name that was the one kind of going around the media is Graham Sward. He played 47 games for the Admirals last year on the East Coast and 2 for the Manitoba Moose, and he went to Quinnipiac. Played 1 game and already has a goal. So,
wow.
So those are the 3 that I came across that got their NCAA eligibility back and went to play.
Yeah, the landscape of college is so different.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you know how old those kids are?
Graham Sward is 22.
Okay, so still college age. Yeah.
Yes, I see if I can dig up the other 2. I didn't see their ages when I think it's right in there though. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to follow and see how many rings till I'm reading farther down our list. How many jerseys are worn?
If this continues, Wade can go back and kick.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I have my COVID year still.
I have a real chance. I never played in university level. I can go back at 47 and play 10 minutes and die.
Zach, you go back. I'm coming with you. It's gonna be like old school. We're gonna get a house on campus. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes. Very dangerous too.
Oh my!
I wanted to touch on this because we've seen it in several of the game worn groups because of stupid pricing, and we've talked about teams doing auctions where they don't require a credit card or anything for to verify. Is the Marc-Andre Fleury preseason jersey. The problem being is I went to go look at that before the show and it is gone. Every news source that I found says the auction was going until tomorrow. I believe at noon tomorrow. It is nowhere to be found right now. If the screenshots that are on the game worn pages and stuff showing crazy bidding amounts, I think like $1 billion or something stupid. Because the only thing I actually went and registered because it said you had to register to be able to even view the auctions. I did register, went to go find it, and it is not there. But you do not have to place a credit card or anything down when you register. So maybe that's why they pulled it, or they're going to redo it. But I am not seeing it. If anybody has any insights as to why that is gone already, let me know if they're going to repost it and fix some of those issues. I think somebody in the forum or in the Facebook page said that like they'd cleaned up the BS bids and it was like 16 some odd thousand. But like you say, now it is just not there. So like you say, maybe they pulled it early. I don't know, but it's just not out there. I did make and I've not actually been to pensgear.com, which is the Pittsburgh Penguins game used and authentic stuff. It's interesting some of the stuff they sell. And we talked about this a little bit before the show, is you can buy game tickets. They are the Ticketmaster printed game tickets. If you went to a particular game, they have them out here. If you actually if you are either there or just want it for the collection, is you can buy the the preseason game, Fleury's game. It's $50 out on their site, and they have Crosby's 600th goal game is 100. Looks like most of them are between 50 and 100. Some of them are $68. More of the Celebrate 68 game they priced at $68. Fine, do whatever you want. I just thought that was interesting. I don't think I've seen any other teams actually put that on their Authentics page where you can buy tickets for certain games.
Yeah, that's neat. I like that.
And they've got some different jerseys out here for different years if you're looking for players, whatnot. So I hadn't actually really looked through their site, but then was trying to track down the auction details. But if anybody has the backstory of what's going on, please pass that along to one of us so we can share it for next week.
Perfect.
Let's see. Moving on from that, we have some different player jerseys. I mean, God's sakes, I feel like we've talked for 3 hours already. But and from a collector's perspective, and I know the Kings post their own stuff. We'll share this one out. Is the LA Kings New jerseys are sharp, and
This is their third jersey, which we're
yes, that and some people weren't a fan initially. It's plain, but it's nice.
Yeah.
But I know last night the game. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wade.
I love the number shape.
Yes.
yes.
Do you remember the ones they called the Burger King jerseys that had a very similarly shaped number? I think that's a good homage to that. And beyond the jersey, I actually love the flat gray helmet, which is also a new thing. Which they've been really popular. They do the shiny silver ones, but I really like that helmet too.
Not like the Canes that can't match their color red to their jerseys, but that's another story. These are nice, and it was a surprise last night because the team was out in their regular jerseys for warm-ups and then swapped over to these. I'm curious though, because the NHL gets real iffy on those kind of things. Did they actually talk to the NHL or did they just do it? I'd be curious to find out.
Regardless, it was awesome. I really
I don't take there's no issue with that, but I just found that funny that I know the NHL usually gets real hinky if you swap jerseys around.
Well, they will let you wear like retirement jerseys, like where everyone wears, the player retiring that number. So it was probably just a quick NHL approval because it's their regular game jersey. Now, I didn't pay attention to warm-ups. Did they also wear the shiny helmets in warm-ups?
I'd have to go look. I honestly don't know. I'll see if I can pull up a Getty's picture here in a minute and see.
I can't say I remember. I was watching the game, but when I saw the jersey swap, I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." I mean, I like the understated quality of this jersey, and I think that's one thing. Like a lot of what the NHL is doing is really understated. Like the Rangers jersey, that 100th anniversary jersey, is very, very understated and simple. I'm even willing to say, that they've simplified the Blues jersey quite a bit. We talked previously. I've been very vocal about my opinion about the one color numbers, which are on these Kings jerseys. They're on the Rangers jerseys. They're on the Blues jerseys. I am willing to take an L here and admit that on the ice, and from what I've seen so far, the single color numbers are growing on me, and they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So, you win, NHL. You win.
I will have to say, though, the single-colored numbered jerseys behind you are by far the most attractive ones.
Well, that's your
gee, can't figure out why.
No bias here at all on that. But
so
no, I'm glad you're coming around to that, though.
I'll admit when I'm wrong. Like I thought that they looked. I mean, like in sitting, they don't look whatever. I've talked to a few people, and I talked to a few people with the organizations, and I found out a lot about that. That it's not just that like there's some guy or a couple guys sitting in an office who decide it. It goes a lot deeper than that. The NHL like tests them, puts them on the ice, does them with cameras to figure out how they look and what's the best look, so they have different options for it. And I mean, I really do think that on TV and in person, like it's working, and it's way different than what we've gotten used to over the number of years, where the triple and double and quadruple layered jersey numbers. But I mean, from a growth perspective, I don't hate them. I mean, I really don't, as much as I thought I was going to. So
Yeah, and watching the Blues games, the preseason games on TV is seeing both the home and the road. They do really pop when they're on TV.
Oh, for sure.
I been very impressed with them. And real quick, Paul, to go back to your question, they wore the black helmets with the jerseys and then swapped completely when they came out. So nobody would have had an inkling they were swapping.
The equipment guys must have loved that.
Right. Hey, and if anybody's an insider with the Kings that would know kind of if that was all staged out and some of that, we'd love to hear that again. We will keep your names secret, but we love hearing stories like that, kind of how that went off. The Sharks, somebody on this podcast knows a little bit about them.
Yeah, we really need Mitch on this show. So.
Who? Never heard of him.
I never heard of him, yes. Or I know Logan will be happy to come back and chat some more.
Yes. So these are the throwbacks to your early years. And the only thing I miss is that big V. That real deep V cut that the jerseys had at when they originally were wearing some of these.
Yeah. So these are what are they calling it? The heritage jersey?
Yes.
Basically the third jersey. It goes back to, I think the style was about 2005 and before, if I remember right. Mitch and Logan will correct me. I know I see it's almost identical to those jerseys. I know Mitch has posted some of the original ones compared to this, and I think besides the neck and maybe a little bit in the arms, it's really, really similar. The one thing I'm interested, home openers tomorrow night, it's a 35th year. Who knows what sort of patch is going to be on them for 35th year.
And I'm surprised that they didn't show that in this in these promotional pictures, because I know a lot of teams have done that. Even if they've swapped jerseys out and they're doing patches for other things, those were all there. I'm a little surprised that this wasn't done that way.
My totally uneducated guess is that they want these jerseys for a couple of years. So they're just more generic photos now. And, and the patch will be a surprise tomorrow. I mean, I know they've redone the center ice logo. It's some thing with a bunch of rays coming out, which is supposed to be something about Sharks 365. I didn't read up closely enough on what it really is. But, that was a
sponsor patch? Or I noticed no sponsor patch on those.
Sharks have sponsor patch on the helmets.
Okay, no jersey sponsor patch.
Yes, they on the away games they have the SAP patch on the helmets, and home games they have the Shark on there, but no sponsor patches yet.
Okay,
I believe they did. I'm trying to remember. It's not one of the teams without a sponsor patch yet, probably because the owner of the team owns SAP. So
I do love that jersey. It does bring you back some memories. And the crust is fantastic. It really is sharp.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. They put out the list of when there's going to be worn, so I don't think they're being worn tomorrow night. But
unless they surprise
you never with the Sharks, you never know. As we're real quick, Sharks news, they named their captains today, which was no captains again, and 5 alternate captains.
Why do they do that?
Monica's theory was, besides like Celebrini, Smith, and a few others, you have no idea who's going to be on this team tomorrow. They're trading so much away, and I know Logan is pissed about this when Shimmick was named captain of the Barracuda, slapped a C on his jersey, traded him a week or two later. Like, why do you do that? You give him a C on an AHL team, middle of the season, and then you trade him. So, I mean, I honestly thought Toffoli would have gotten the C. He was a natural choice for it. I really don't see them trading Toffoli because I think he's actually really helpful with bringing the kids along, and they've done bobbleheads of him with the kids, so it just doesn't make any sense to me. I unless they're planning on giving Celebrini the C next year, and they didn't want to rip away a C from another player like they did with Thornton. That's all I can think of.
Yeah,
yes.
I get it. From jerseys to rings, I like Florida's ring. Some people are like, oh, they're rubbing stuff in. I don't see an issue with it. They won
It's a
2 cups back
championship
then.
ring.
Yeah,
Every championship ring rubs things in. You don't have one.
Did you
They
see?
do.
Did you get the picture of the inside of it? That's what people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to that right now. The back. I love the back-to-back cups on the front. That is
Yeah.
sharp. But the team's rally cry, we apologize to no one on the inside, and then with all the teams they beat.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful ring.
I love the rat on the inside too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes it.
Yeah. It's a beauty. I mean, I hope they don't get a third. But, I mean, good for them for 2.
Gonna need a bigger ring. I mean, it's just I saw Marchant the video from when they gave him to him. He's like, this is bigger than my hand. But I think it looks good. I know some people are it's too much. It should be over the top and glaring and crazy. Yeah. Come on.
That's what championship rings are these days. It's like the gaudiest thing that they can come up with. So I've seen worse. I mean, the football rings are way worse than that. So
didn't the Vegas one like open up or something? The top, if I remember correctly.
Yes, they did. I can't remember what it showed inside there, but yes, it did.
Yeah, a couple of rings have done that over the like. I know there's been a couple of football ones that do that too. I mean, it's just gotten to be like the biggest gaudiest thing that they can come up with. So,
hey, the Panthers earned it. They can do whatever they want with those rings.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We don't have to like it, but they earned it. It's their choice.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to when Detroit finally gets to make another ring. I know we're a ways away, but
We'll give you an oxygen tank when you have to stop holding your breath, though.
Ouch. Thanks, Doc.
Hey, I try my best. And I think the only other thing we really had to touch on that just came out in the last 24-ish so hours is the very antiquated Chicago Blackhawks jersey. Holy cow. We will share this right here. Found at a Goodwill. And not just like going into the store, it was on the rack. The story that's posted online is it's one of the bulk Goodwills. And I know there's one of them in St. Louis, Wade, and some other places where you basically go in and there's just big bins that you can sort through. And that's how this was found. Whoever found it then sold it. The price online says $12,000. And congratulations to whoever now owns that, because it is a beautiful jersey and it is really good shape.
Yeah. For as old as that thing is, it's incredible. I mean, to the owner, congratulations. Even at the price that they have it listed as selling for in the comments, it's still a absolute steal and a heck of an add to anyone's collection. So congratulations.
Yes. That is, and this was originally posted 2 weeks ago on Reddit. 40 this, and I'll actually, let me go to the original post here. It says 40s, 50s possible order Blackhawks jersey I found over the weekend. Little bit more insight on this, and this is the poster. 18 days ago is when this was posted from Melodic Interest 364. Little bit more insight on this. I usually go to my local Goodwill outlet on my off days. Today was a normal day digging. Ended up finding this on the first rotation of the day. Tens of upvotes. This was identified. And Paul, give me the name on that. I'm trying to. How do you say that last name?
For the Hawks player?
Yes.
I actually do not know which player it is. I know I've seen
Bill Mosenko, I think is that how you say that. Played 14 seasons in the NHL, played with the Hawks from 42 to 55. he played specifically with them 51-55. And I'm trying to find.
Bill Mazenko is a hockey Hall of Famer. I mean,
Yes,
he's an incredible player.
Of anything to find, holy crap!
So here's my favorite part about it. And I'm gonna just try to go screen with it. Can you guys see that? Like,
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of gives.
I believe that's the jersey. If I think
My understanding, this was a 1-year style for the Hawks.
Correct. Yeah.
Logos, yeah.
So jersey reportedly authenticated as game worn and belonging to Masenko was quickly sold to a private collector for $12,000. This from Fanatics Collector on Instagram.
Yeah.
Drifter and its Instagram post is Sages_rack is who the person was, from Goodwill Bins.
Yeah. So just so you know, tomorrow I'm going to be at Goodwill for the next 3 days. Just
so funny. I'll give you a funny side story with that from, God, 6-7 years ago. Somebody had actually sent me pictures. They had gone to either, I don't think it was a Goodwill, it was some other kind of donation place in St. Louis, and the Kachucks had donated a whole bunch of stuff, and there was a rack of about 10 Keith Kachuk and his kids' sticks.
Oh, Jesus.
Like $20 a piece.
Yeah.
Needless to say, they disappeared in a big hurry. But
and that's the thing. Everybody wonders where all this stuff ends up. Like, you never know where it's going to end up. That's the craziest part about it. Especially something like that, which doesn't look like your traditional Chicago Blackhawks jersey. I mean, you really would have to be in the know to know what that is. Beyond, it doesn't look like what we would consider the Blackhawks jersey. So I'm thankful that whoever did find it got it to a collector, because otherwise, I mean, I think realistically, to the wrong person, could have ended up getting cut up to get put on a jacket that some chick wears to the hockey games. You know, it could have gotten absolutely destroyed, or whatever. But I mean, thank God it got rediscovered into the hobby, because that's a Hall of Fame piece.
It is a sweater.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, things fantastic.
Look at that logo.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean,
so it's an old wool sweater, which has survived it was early 50s.
Yeah, I mean,
so 75 years.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm curious if it was an old Blackhawks employee, something that the family cleaned out and got rid of a bunch of stuff. I'd love to hear if we can find out what the backstory is on this, where it came from before it ended up in Goodwill.
I mean, the funny part, that easily getting in a clean out for somebody that doesn't know something, who didn't take stuff to Goodwill. I mean, that easily could have got thrown in a garbage bag and put into a landfill. You know, I mean, I'm so thankful that it got saved. I mean, awesome. Congrats to the owner.
I mean, Wade, you got your jersey back this week. These things are popping up. You never know what the hobby's going to bring you. It's just crazy. Well, gentlemen, with that, we have rambled a very long time tonight. Hope you guys, both Paul, you and Wade, enjoy going to the opening night of the Blues and the Sharks. Do you believe the Sharks will win tomorrow? Who do they even play? I haven't looked at the schedule.
Sharks play Vegas Golden Knights, who are currently
screwed.
the Knights are currently down 2-0 to the Kings.
Okay, so they'll be tired also.
Yeah, so this makes no sense. The Kings opened the season at home last night, and they got blown out by Colorado. Colorado just totally outclassed them. Then they go to Vegas. Right now, they're leading 2-0 late in the first. So back-to-backs, home, road. Now Vegas is doing the same thing, playing at home, and then traveling to San Jose tomorrow. So I don't know if it's a tired factor or just getting a real game, one game in, that playing the second game's easier than playing the first. So no, I do not expect the Sharks to win tomorrow, which means they probably will. So.
Then you're always surprised. And Wade, I think the Blues have a decent shot because of coming off the late preseason wins and just how they did it. So hopefully we start the season out on the right foot. I'll be enjoying it from my recliner. I know you'll be on the bench making the line change calls and stuff. So
who are the Blues playing?
I'll be in there. We're playing Minnesota. We get to see the really bad Kaprizov contract in action, which is looking worse and worse after today seeing Eichel sign for like $12 million. I think that contract's going to absolutely. I after seeing McDavid sign and take a discount to stay, I still think that contract was totally based on him saying, "Hey, listen, I'm going to give you guys 2 years at a discount. Like either figure out a way to put a cup-winning team around me, or in 2 years I'm out of here." To our Edmonton listeners, I'm sorry, that's my opinion. And the Kaprizov contract looks almost more foolish based upon what's happened with the McDavid contract and then the Eichel contract today. I don't know. It's going to be a fun hockey season. I just love it. My favorite time of year.
Yes.
Great hockey season and boring free agency next summer.
Yeah.
With everyone getting locked up. So
yeah. With that, gentlemen, another show in the books. Next week, probably it might be a shorter show only because Wade and I'll both be getting ready for the St. Louis Expo and that, but we'll have some good stuff. Following week, we'll have a lot of either multiple shows. We haven't decided how we're going to break that out yet with recording stuff at the Expo. Please, if you're traveling to both the St. Louis and this weekend is which one again, Paul? I'm sorry.
Minneapolis.
So if you're traveling to that one as well, Minnesota, I hope you guys have a great time up there and everybody be safe traveling to all those places. And we'll see you all back next week.